I know what you're thinking. This guy doesn't know what I'm thinking. And you're right, I can't read your mind, but I can tell you this show is unlike anything you've ever seen. This is Nathanael Philip Mosher Has Friends, where I, Nathanael Philip Mosher, introduce you to my talented, wonderful, thoughtful, and engaging friends. Each live show is moved forward by an intention in the form of a question, shaping the material presented. This show's question was, what is fun to you? And we had Terrence Rutledge doing stand-up, Sean Williams doing poetry, Callie Pascal doing music, Nehemiah Williams doing song, and delivering a super duper special surprise to Brittany Wilson and yours truly doing all of the above. This show ends with a super duper massive pooper scooper special surprise. You don't want to miss it. Without further ado, welcome to the show. Welcome to my show. Welcome to my show. Hopefully I'll share with you some things that I don't know. Welcome to my show. Welcome to my friends. One day we'll learn the ways to cut our ties and make amends. Welcome to your show. Welcome to our show. Hopefully in time you'll spend with me, we both will grow. Welcome to my home. Welcome to our home. Lend a helping hand to me and we can take it slow. Welcome to our show. Welcome to your show. Hopefully in time you'll spend with me, we both will grow. Welcome to my home. Welcome to your home. Lend a helping hand to me and we can take it slow. Welcome to the show.
Nathanael Philip Mosher, that's me, has friends. Give it up for yourselves officially. This is a show where I, Nathanael Philip Mosher, welcome you to my wonderful, talented, thoughtful, and engaging friends. Tonight, we have Terrence Rutledge in the back. Give it up for Terrence. He's going to be doing comedy for you guys. We got Nehemiah Williams. He's going to be doing original music with a bevy of special guests, including and not limited to Levi Williams, Brittany Wilson, and yours truly, Nathanael Philip Mosher. So, what's exciting about this show is each show has a unifying theme in the form of a question. And tonight's question is, what is fun to you? Each guest will answer that question in their chosen form of the spoken word, and together we will embark on an adventure to seek and to receive. Now, for those of you that don't know me, I work as a substitute teacher by day. And the way I start every class is by taking attendance. So let's get to know each other. I know some of these people. You, sir, what's your name? Andrew. Give it up for Andrew. How'd you hear about the show, Andrew?
Nehemiah.
Yeah? How many people are here for Nehemiah? How many people are here for Brittany? How many people here for Terrence? No, yeah, come on, God. What do you do for work? Are you still working? No? What did you retire? What did you used to do for work? Nothing? So you retired from doing nothing? Tell me your secrets. So you're doing nothing? You're retired from doing nothing? Oh, that is a perfect segue. What does fun mean to you, man? So I love that answer. So Andrew, right, said fun to him is hanging out with his friends and family. Right? What kind of things do you like to do with your friends and family? We're all going to your house next week. That's amazing. Give it up, Ranger. Let's see. Let's get someone over here. Yeah. I know her. Lola. Give it up for Lola. So introduce yourself, Lola. What do you do for work?
Interior designer.
Interior designer. How long have you been doing that?
3 months.
3 months. New career. You gonna retire soon? That's amazing. Is that fun to you?
Yes.
Yeah. What is fun about interior design to you? That's so interesting.
I think getting to know families and client stories and creating.
Getting to know client stories and creating. That's awesome. So it's a relational thing as well. Hanging with friends and family, getting to know people. Right. That's an element of fun to me as well. What else do you like to do for fun?
I like to do puzzles, think, laugh.
Do you ever think while doing puzzles?
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like to eat.
Eat. Give it up for eating. Yes. Who doesn't love eating? Let's go to Andrew's for some barbecue. Play some puzzles. All right, one more person. Let's get someone in the back with the glasses. He looked over there. You're right there. The mustache. Yeah. What about you? What's your name?
Richard.
Richard. Give it up for Richard. What are you about? What do you do for work? You retired?
I'm semi-retired as a sign language interpreter.
As a sign language interpreter. So you only translate half the time. Semi-retired.
Retired as a full-time, but I work as a freelance interpreter now.
Ah.
I want to. I choose to.
That's amazing. How long have you been doing that?
Full-time?
Full time?
12 years.
12 years. Wow. Is that fun to you, or is it just a job?
I love it.
What is it about that that's fun to you?
Well, I had deaf parents growing up, and this is a way to connect back to my...
That's a beautiful thing. Give it up for it. That's lovely. Part of this show is we get to answer that question together and come to a deeper understanding and hopefully make some friends in the process. And so, the first friend I want to introduce you to is one of the most effortlessly funny people I know. And I met him in the terribly free and fun world of open mic stand-up comedy in Los Angeles. Now, I'll tell you something many of you might not know, but there are actually 9 levels to hell. It goes limbo, lust, gluttony, greed, anger, heresy, violence, fraud, and Los Angeles open mic stand-up comedy. Otherwise known as betrayal and treachery. However, within this context, this man was a beacon of light, and his jokes are pithy, terse, simple, and awfully packed full of punch. Please give a warm welcome to Terrence Rutledge.
All right, everybody, how we doing? Yeah. So where are my Muslims at? All right, let's give it up for Allah. That's right. Where are my Christians at? Let's make some noise for Jesus. All right, where are my Hindus at? All right, Hare Krishna, let's make some noise for Krishna, Vishnu, Rama, Devi, Ganesha, Hanuman, the Monkey King, Varuna, Chandra, Parashurama, eagle, Shemesh the serpent, these other rocks I found outside. Nandi the bull, Indra, Chakra, the god of weather, storms, rain, and war. These other rocks I found outside. All right, yeah, I think that's enough. Yeah. All right, where are my atheists at? Yeah, let's give it up for nothing. These people don't believe in anything. Where are my Jews at? Where are my proud Jews? Come on, be proud, Jews. All right, no Jews, that's okay. Man, you guys ever read the Jewish Bible and the Torah? God says, I want you to rest on the seventh day. But man, that's hard to do. Because Muslims say it's Friday, Jews say it's Saturday, Christians say it's Sunday. I don't really want to gamble here, so I just don't work any day. Man, you know it's hard to be an atheist. Once you go atheist, your lifespan decreases by an eternity. And man, what's up with Hindus? You know, they believe in reincarnation. That could work out good. You could come back better. You could also come back worse. You could come back as like a dog, a rat, or an open mic stand-up comedian. What about my Jehovah's Witnesses? Any Jehovah's Witnesses? All right, you know my honest Jehovah's Witness, and she told me that Jesus came back in 1918. We just couldn't see him. I was like, okay, and I went to church on Sunday. You just couldn't see me. Man, but back to these rocks, okay? Now, I have some things I want to tell you about these rocks. How are these rocks like religion? You see, right here we have an igneous volcanic rock. And what happens is that the rock melts and it erupts as lava, and then it's reborn again as a rock. These are the born-again Christian rocks. You have here these metamorphic rocks. These rocks are deep down in the earth, just minding their own business, doing their own thing, until they're forced to do things against their will. These are the my parents forced me to go to church on Sunday rock. You got here the sedimentary rock. These rocks are in layers in the Grand Canyon, stacked by layers millions of years, and every time you go back, they're always saying something different, doing something new. This is the what is the Pope saying now rock. All right, yeah, man, what's going on? Do you guys like rocks? All right, what is the strongest rock? A lot of people think that the strongest rock is like an igneous rock or a granite rock, but actually the strongest rock is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. That's the strongest rock, and you can tell when a rock is strong if you can scratch it, but the thing is that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is so strong, nobody is brave enough to try to scratch him, so we have no idea how strong this guy is. And also, he's a non-denominational Christian, which means Jesus is his rock, which makes him the strongest rock. That's right. All right, getting laughs and claps, that's what I'm talking about, man. Yeah. So, like, what I'm saying about rocks, I got this biology teacher who thinks that we do everything we do to impress the opposite gender, but my biggest hobby is collecting rocks. So I just don't think that's true, man. Yeah. Do you ever wonder about the origins of rocks? Like, I was telling you about how the igneous rocks came from volcanoes, and the sedimentary rocks, they're in, like, layers in the volcano and the Grand Canyon. They have, like, all this history of the earth. But you know the rock that has the coolest origin is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. He has the coolest origin story. Because this guy's from Hawaii, 1972, Samoan parents, moves to Chicago, starts lifting weights, starts boxing, gets in the WWE. He actually goes on a 2-year mission trip. I don't know if you knew that. And he comes back home, and he's getting into, like, Fast and the Furious and all these movies. He's a big star. And you know what the greatest thing about that is? None of that is true. I made all that stuff up about The Rock. No, but he is a Christian, though. That part is true. Yeah, man. Okay, so we got religion, we did rocks. How about language? Okay, you know the phrase "let's go"? That "let's" has an apostrophe in it, so it's actually a conjunction of "let us go." Who is restraining us from go? You know, I studied linguistics. I actually found out that that phrase came from when Moses said, "Let our people go," "let my people go." And you know, I think it's interesting that the same phrase that Moses uses to free his people from bondage is the same phrase I used to tell my mom, "Hey, let's get out of this weird party with my weird cousins." The reason you probably don't know that there's a connection between Moses saying that and us saying "let's go" is because that's also another thing that I made up. Yeah, man. All right, so like, hey, this is a fun time. You know what? Another real thing is that Mario says "let's go," "let's go," but I never heard an Italian say "let's go." They just say "let's go" like any other normal person. And I have Italian friends. I like Italian people. There were some Italian people in rocks, let's go. Man, Spanish is a cool language. I took Spanish in high school. I had this really bad teacher. He didn't teach us anything. And like all the other classes were learning important things like Donde está el baño, but our class never found out. Do we have any Spanish speakers in the audience? ¿Cómo están mis amigos? Vamos a la playa. Dame cerveza. All right. Bendiciones. Jesús te ama. All right, cool. Hey, do we have any Asians in the crowd? All right. Do we have? What do you mean? 한국 사람입니다.
Oh, nice.
Hey, 만나서 반갑습니다. Do we have any Japanese or Chinese? No, well, I'm gonna speak those anyways. 皆さんこんにちは。テリスと申します。よろしくお願いします。我叫高佑明。I bet you're wondering, Terrence, where did you find all the time to learn all these languages? 22 years of being a virgin. Now, I'm a very intellectual guy. You're probably wondering, Terrence, you come from a very intellectual family? Actually, no, my dad was a crack-dealing Republican. That was pretty weird. He liked his taxes low and his attic side. It's like, what's worse, dealing crack or voting Republican? The toxic poison destroying the black community or crack? All right, I know, a lot of people didn't laugh at that, so I feel like there's some Republicans in the audience. And that's okay, because let's make fun of Democrats too, man. Democrats are always talking about open borders. Open borders. Yeah, I miss that bookstore too. Yeah, man, I'm black and Korean. I love it. You know, my parents, they actually met during the LA riots. I was a riot baby. They met at my mom's store. When my dad was robbing the store, he left behind his number. I was a really good student growing up. I was a straight A student. I was on the principal's honor roll. I was the first black guy on the principal's honor roll. I was also the 279th Korean. All right, I want to talk to you about William Mulholland. Have you ever heard about this guy, William Mulholland? You've heard of Mulholland Drive, right? Okay, so Mulholland Drive comes from William Mulholland. He's the man who's responsible for bringing water to LA. If it weren't for him, all we'd have is the LA River. We could never rise behind 100,000 population, but now we have a city of 10 million because this guy figured out how to get water from all the way from the Sierra Nevada mountains. And if it weren't for this guy, we would all die of dehydration. But the best we can do for him is, oh yeah, I've heard of that street. This guy's a hero. We gotta remember him. Think about all the great things we have in LA because of this guy, man. We have Disneyland, we have Hollywood, we have the LA Hare Krishna Cultural Center. Man, William Mulholland, he's a total hero. And some people are upset at him because he stole the water from the farmers, but the farmers also stole the water from the natives, okay? So it comes around. And they said that they could use the water better than the natives. I think we can use the water better than the farmers. What's better, Alfalfa or Avengers? And you know what, like, a lot of people are upset at him also because his dam broke in the Santa Clarita. The dam broke, and then like 600 homes were destroyed, and 4,000 acres of farmland were devastated, and 600 people were washed away to sea, never to be seen again. And they're like, Willie, what happened? Your dam broke. And he's like, well, I'll be damned. You know, and then like all these people the next day, these insensitive tourists showed up and started taking pictures. Like it was some tourist attraction. Like, how insensitive are you? Like, wait 100 years to do a stand-up routine about it. Yeah, man. You know what? This is really good. And you know what? Even if you didn't laugh at all the jokes, it's okay, because the worst thing as a comedian isn't when the people think you're not funny. The worst thing is when they tell you how brave you are. Sir, you were so brave. No one was laughing and you kept talking. All right, thank you so much for your time.
Give it up for Terrence. I will have to pick that up. Terrence, while you are cleaning that up, wasn't that wonderful? Give it up for Terrence once again. Terrence, I'm going to ask you the question. What is fun to you, Mr. Terrence Rutledge?
What's fun for me is rocks. I really like rocks. I like religion.
Do you think religion rocks?
Religion rocks.
Give it up for Terrence Phillips. Now, something I like to do in these shows is I like to tell a little story throughout the show. And I'm going to attempt to be funny while doing it. If I'm not, it's just poetry. Either way, I'm brave. Now, I met Terrence when I was about 19 years old, and I started writing jokes at age 16, doing stand-up at 17, and I proceeded to do it a whole lot, multiple times a night. At first, I wasn't very good, then it started to go well, then it didn't, so I stopped for a while, and now I'm kind of just getting back into it. And I learned something from doing stand-up for about a decade. Did you guys know that you could be happy and then do stand-up comedy? I didn't know you could do it in that order. Turns out being funny is supposed to be fun. In retrospect, I don't even know if I ever did stand-up comedy to be funny. I think I just wanted to tell people, I wanted people to tell me that I was smart and hot and that I mattered. I think my ideal comedy show would go like this. I would do my set, the audience would form a single file line. They come up to me, shake my hand, and be like, good job, you're smart, you're hot, you matter. And the last person would be like, we've never met before, but I'm your new wife. And I go, I don't believe you, you're wrong, I'm ugly, we're getting a divorce 10 times a night, and I somehow make $1 million. So my first big show was my high school talent show. And this summer, I actually got to perform at a high school talent show. Because I never actually graduated high school, and I'm here to ask everyone for a job. High school's not working out. So this summer, I ended up working as a resident assistant for a summer camp called the Center for Talented Youth at Johns Hopkins University in Baltimore. And we held a talent show where I got to perform. And it was there where I met my new wife. Give it up for Mrs. Mrs. Nathanael Philip Mosher. She's gonna juggle. No. Somehow in that joke, she took both my first and last name. By the way, in that hypothetical fake joke scenario, the new wife was another camp staff member, not a high school. Just wanted to make that clear. None of this happened, by the way, ladies. So I applied to work at the Center for Talented Youth because I actually got into the program at 8 years old, but I didn't remember until last year when I started working as a substitute in the same school district I grew up going to, which was pretty surreal at first. The first time I substituted at my old elementary school was kind of weird because the last time I'd been there was only in my dreams. I was like, man, this playground looks real different when I'm not flying over it. I can't believe these people don't know I'm secretly Avatar The Last Airbender. It was also a surreal experience because many of you may not know that I was a genius. And I say that in all humility because now I work as a sub in the same school district I grew up going to, being the whiz kid at. So now I gotta be in class trying to motivate these students to do well. Like, hey kids, if you work really hard, study, get good grades, you might end up right back here. You might never leave this school. Lock the doors, lock the doors. I went from straight A's to full circle, otherwise known as a big fat O. I went from hometown hero to hometown zero. I was a genius. And you know I'm telling the truth because I had a rolling backpack. That's how you know I was a nerd. Clap if you had a rolling backpack growing up. Y'all didn't even clap, you raised your hand like the nerds that you are. I have to answer this question correctly, teacher. Everybody give him a wedgie. So, I don't know if you guys know this, but I work as a sub, and it turns out the smartest kids in elementary school are still the rolling backpack kids. My theory is, I think it's because they're already preparing to go through TSA at the airport for business trips. They're going to school like, I gotta take a red eye to Dallas, have a meeting at 8, talk to Mac operations. Oh no, I forgot my math textbook. The smartest kid in our whole district was this kid, Adrian. And his head would bob back and forth like that. And he would take his rolling backpack from 5th grade all the way to high school, where he graduated at 13 to go to Cal State. He had a full-blown suitcase. He was just bumping his head back and forth, juggling investment portfolios, TSA pre-checks, and AP calculus. And as a kid, I actually got my head stuck in the metal bars of my rolling backpack. Like, I thought, like, I wonder if I could get through this. Oh no, I'm stuck. My ears got stuck. I couldn't get out. I looked like a 3rd grader who had been wrongly imprisoned. I was like, hey guys, get me out. I didn't cheat on the math test, I swear. So I wanted to share with you guys something my mom found recently while she was cleaning the house. It's a dead guy that I murdered and hid. No, it's an exit portfolio that I wrote in 5th grade. Someone said, yeah, did you write an exit portfolio as a kid? Who wrote an exit portfolio? You got real sad. I saw people. It's an exit portfolio that I wrote in 5th grade as a reflection on graduating elementary school at El Rincon Elementary in Culver City. And it has 3 parts. The first part is a reflection on me graduating elementary school. The second part is an imagined future reflection on graduating middle school. And the third part is an imagined retelling of Avatar: The Last Bender set in 19th century Victorian England, because I was a genius. No. It's an imagined future reflection on me graduating high school. And so I wanted to read it to you guys in 3 parts, because I thought it would be fun. Over my past 6 years at El Rincon Elementary School, there are a lot of things I accomplished. Each one helped me get through school successfully. I grew and learned something new each year. The past years prepared me for middle school in many ways. Each teacher taught something new that will prepare me for middle school. In kindergarten, I got in trouble for talking too much in class. I was a little bored at times and would shout out answers. My teacher, Mrs. Birdie, was not pleased, and I soon learned to behave better. I learned to be neater in my writing. In 1st grade, I had a best friend named Justin Lee, who is Korean. No relation to Terrence. We had play dates, and he was a good friend. Mrs. Glusack, my 1st grade teacher, impacted my life. She asked me to become a student teacher sometimes, and I experienced a lot of critical thinking. Lots of challenges helped me bring up scholarly attributes like exercising my mind. She corrected me a lot, which helped me excel in many subjects. My report card showed my accomplishments when I got an excellent report card, and my parents were happy. I got mostly A's and all 4s on my report card, and I was very proud of myself. In 2nd grade, I had Mrs. Sires as my teacher. She was an energetic teacher who was generous but strict in some ways. She gave us a reasonable amount of work along with parties for our deserving behavior. She made us take valuable notes, which helped our class get good test scores. We did many projects, and one of the favorite projects I was assigned was an oral report on bravery. Wow. Little on the nose. I did St. Francis of Assisi as my subject. I dressed up like him to portray his personality, and I learned a lot about him. I was proud of my accomplishments as a 2nd grader, and I was prepared for 3rd grade the next year. The next year, I was assigned an intelligent and experienced teacher named Mrs. Gallegos, who had dealt with many 3rd grade classes throughout her years of teaching. Mrs. Gallegos knew a lot about teaching and was wise in her teaching methods. She taught us moral lessons about life and made our heart grow inside. We had many projects, including a diorama about a landmark in Culver City. I did a restaurant named Johnny's Pastrami's, and I learned much about it. We did 2 projects about Indians, including another diorama about a tribe. We also made totem poles to represent ourselves. I like 3rd grade a lot, and I will cherish my 3rd grade memories. One of my absolute favorite grades was 4th grade. Not only did my teacher, Mrs. Ames, teach me to the fullest, but she pushed me to go beyond 4th grade expectations. She told me about the Center for Talented Youth test sponsored by the Johns Hopkins University. This is a national test for 5th and 6th graders who score over 95% on the state tests. I took it in January of 2006 while in 5th grade. I received an invitation to an awards ceremony on June June 3rd, 2006 for scoring a national percentile rank of the 99th percentile on a 7th and 8th grade math test. Mrs. Ames gave me valuable information to fuel me to rocket through 4th grade and to help me get through 5th grade. In 5th grade, I was assigned to Mrs. Pomerantz, who was on her first year teaching as a non-substitute teacher. I accomplished many things, including what I consider to be my 3 biggest accomplishments. I became chess champ for using logical reasoning against many opponents and chess tutors. I therefore became the chess team captain leading this year's Grand Match Gala tournament against many other schools. Our school won the first place in the tournament. I also qualified to be included in our school's very first spelling bee. I won first place at El Rincon and represented our school at the first district-wide spelling bee, along with 3 other El Rincon contestants. I did my best but didn't win our city's spelling bee, but I gained valuable experience. My biggest accomplishment in 5th grade was getting elected as president of student council. This helped me improve my leadership skills for future situations, including middle school. I was elected into student council by my class and elected president by the student council. What? Oh. I became, it just didn't make sense. Became respected at school by my fellow peers and I made my family proud. My experience with student council has made my last year at El Rincon special. Being in the student council has impacted my life and others very much. It has helped our student council manage priorities and in return has helped the school. My family is proud of me because I gained an experience to lead the school and have fun doing it. Our student council has done many things that have helped our school grow. While in the student council, I learned to choose my priorities well and be more organized. I had to learn to work and team up with others and cooperate with a large group of people. My experience was fun and will help me a lot in middle school. I formed close friendships over my years at El Rincon. My closest friends, to name a few, are Sean Williams, Kyle Miller, Justin Garcia, and DeWitt DeFerre. I will always cherish my memories with them and hope to remain friends beyond El Rincon. El Rincon Elementary School has enhanced my learning experience and led me to fulfill my dream of becoming a great student. Elementary school has been an experience that I will never forget. At El Rincon, I have gained a very enriching education, wonderful friends, valuable life experience, memories of caring and talented teachers, and as I leave, I feel very prepared for middle school and beyond. The second friend I want to introduce you to, I met in the lunch line at El Rincon when I was 6 years old, and his name is Sean Williams. Give it up for Sean. Unfortunately, Sean couldn't be here today because he had a pretty bad injury, so pray for him. But he's in recovery. And he was going to read to you some poems, and it was going to be the first time I had heard his poetry aloud. And so he sent it to me, and I'm going to read it for you guys. And he also typed up his answer to what is fun. If I can only find it in here. If I can't, I will paraphrase what he said. This is a poem from Sean Williams. What if, coasting up the PCH, passing Paradise Cove with nothing else to show, Dave's hot chicken cut down on the heat, then maybe the most ignorant people alive would restrain their attitude and be sweet. Cannonball off into the lake, off the oak branch tree, step on the gas pedal and let it go far away beyond what we can see. Sean said fun is many things. It's even a point of view, perspective. It can be in a recipe. We don't quite know its origin, but we know what it is. So give it up for Sean Williams, who could be here. This is a poem called New York City is a Panic Attack. And I wrote it in 2017 while studying abroad in Paris. New York City is a panic attack. It is up late, run down, yet elusive. It never ceases to amaze me, and when it does, I'm left breathless, especially when the rat-a-tat-tat of a tap dancer collides with drumsticks singing in the rain, or when an old black chess master takes the spirit of a young boy in Washington Square Park. It is the breath of fresh air after the finishing blow it dealt earlier, and when that bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich that you got at the deli across the street hits the back of your throat and clogs your arteries slick with cream soda-soaked chips, it's a heaven you can only experience alone. It is New York. But you want to know my favorite thing? You want to know my favorite thing about New York? New York, New York, New York. Big apple in your mouth and face. Don't talk bad about my city if you ain't trying to live it. City, if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. City, I hated it there. That's right. I absolutely hated it. Spent 3 months in that hellhole, 3 months wandering in sunken, sullied, piss-soaked, crap-stained, Dominican loud music playing, construction at 7 in the morning, spelled M-O-U-R-N-I-N-G, because the depth of my sanity lies on 168th Street, stinking streets. It was hell. Heat-soaked, heat-stroke, lethal, lonely hell. I had to put a wet towel over my naked body to sleep because our AC was free and that it didn't exist. And I had to close the windows to drown out the construction going on every day at 7 in the morning, but that's just New York. What are you gonna do? Some people don't get it. They don't get that New York is supposed to be hell. It's a panic attack, for Christ's sake. A panic attack. A panic attack. You're not being attacked by panic, by white flight, white stripe, Black Lives Matter, play all night protest, singing we hate the alt-right, voices heard on high, even the penthouse suite reevaluates life. Panic by banging, clanging, ambulances blaring, skyscrapers scraping, hipsters vaping, men and women gaping, stating what is going on with this city. Panic. You're being attacked by the city metropolis, if you will, where people go to hate one another because the common weight of human suffering is littered across the street like gum-covered pavement, because New York City is not a home, it is a city. It is a city, not a home. The home is where the heart is, and I left that in San Francisco. So you ask me, if you hate it so much, why do you want to live in New York? Well, to put it plainly, I miss it. I miss the aloneness. I miss silent walks playing Pokemon Go with headphones on, not looking at anyone. I miss crying at a bus stop until I met a toothless man at KFC who told me not to go where the wild things go, past 2nd Street to be exact. I miss being booked on a comedy show where I ordered food but got a beer instead because I thought the waitress said sliders but really said cider, and that I didn't perform because the crowd left. And I cried because I had nothing to look forward to in that moment except that show, and so I went and bought some KFC. And the man with no teeth looked at me and said, "You want a cookie?" I said, "Sure." He said, "You want another one?" I said, "Sure." He said, "NYU?" I said, "No, UCLA." He said, "Well, don't go past 2nd Street after dark and never forget the Creator is always with you." And then he disappeared, leaving only his teeth. He came back later to tell me, "Also, one more thing, don't let any female get to you." And I did. I miss walking the High Line listening to nothing but my own thoughts, and the fact that crumbling down the line was a family, a relationship, a career, in that order. I miss delis on every corner. I miss using my backpack as a soundboard for my thoughts sinking into a park bench to catch a nap during my lunch break at work. I miss crying to the best of 2017 Spotify playlists with friends abroad, moving in separate directions like tributaries or grids or litter in the wind. I miss that lady who told me in line at Chick-fil-A to stop talking on the phone with my sister because she didn't want to hear our conversation. Screw that lady. Or maybe I was just too loud, I don't really know. I miss having panic attacks. Because having a panic attack always happens when you're alone until you're not alone anymore. Whether it be at a bus stop, a street corner, or the Grand Canyon, the Crater is always with you. And New York is the only place that keeps reminding you how messed up life can really be. It's messed up sometimes. And New York reminds you every day that life sometimes sucks. But sometimes you gotta shut up and deal with it. And maybe you don't have teeth, but you can still eat cookies at KFC. And maybe one day you can learn to appreciate the view in other places, like Paris. I'm there right now, writing this poem, and it's beautiful. B-E-A, beautiful. Thank you. This is exit portfolio number 2. Middle school will be a new experience with many challenges. There will be new teachers, new classrooms, a bigger building, and new people. There will be more rooms and hallways to get used to, so there's a high probability of getting lost in the school campus. There will be many things to learn, lots of people to meet, and choices to make. In middle school, homework is assigned by 6 different teachers. All of these things make middle school seem pretty challenging. Setting goals can help me rise to the challenges and to meet my goals in middle school. It is also necessary to set goals in order to achieve the expectations of my teachers, parents, and community. My top 3 goals in middle school are to stay organized, to get into the scholars program, and to bring up new scholarly attributes. To me, being organized means keeping my notes clean and easily accessible, prioritizing my time, and managing my activities and schoolwork. Sometimes I have messy notes in a messy backpack. I need to make sure that my notes are legible, filled in an organized fashion, and easy to find when I need them. Since I might be assigned large quantities of homework, I need to get into the habit of saving information for future reference. If I'm not organized, there's a high risk of losing or forgetting my homework. This can adversely result in low grades. As much as I enjoy schoolwork, nerd, I also like to be involved in sports, piano lessons, other programs outside of school, and watch my favorite TV shows. By prioritizing my schedule, I can organize my day to accommodate and manage my activities without sacrificing the quality of my grades at school. Being organized will have a very positive impact on my life in middle school. In middle school, there is a scholars program designed to accommodate intellectually advanced students. I would very much like to get into this program. Scholars programs can help me exercise my growing intellect and hopefully provide me with extra challenge to occupy my free time. Middle school was a chance to go farther on the path to becoming a scholar. The term scholar means an educated person who is a specialist in a particular branch of learning. To be a part of the scholars program is important to me because I don't want to be sitting around at home, finished with my homework and doing nothing. I want to be continually challenging myself. Gaining new scholarly attributes will help me not only in middle school but in the future. Being a scholar is being a highly educated person. Being educated can help you earn the opportunity to have a great job and also not struggle to maintain good grades throughout high school and college. To recap, my top 3 goals in middle school are to stay organized, to get into the scholars program, and to bring up new scholarly attributes. Meeting these 3 goals will help me in middle school. There are many other scholarly attributes that will help me meet the goals I set for middle school, and I need to have as many as I can to become a scholar, and I'll need to develop them quickly. I sometimes don't ponder enough on subjects, so I don't understand them. If I want to understand something in middle school, I'll need to think and ponder more deeply. These are only of the few scholarly attributes I can develop, but as I grow, I will get closer and closer to becoming a scholar. A lot of times, my strengths are not enough. When I need help to accomplish something, my immediate community can help me. This includes my friends, my family, my teachers. I can ask teachers to help me with schoolwork that I don't understand, and they will surely help me because that's their job. My family is an integral and important part of the community that I can reach out to all the time. They can give me helpful advice with school, different or difficult situations, problems that may arise, and especially challenges associated with teenage life. My friends can help me get motivated when I'm acting lazy. They can cheer me on to work harder, to be proactive and not procrastinate, to support and encourage me when I need them. Middle school is a very different experience compared to El Rincon. Thinking about goals to set and ways to improve work habits is an important way to prepare. Developing scholarly attributes is another thing to think about. Becoming a scholar means you're a good student and you think about things in different ways. I want to become and act more like a scholar all the time. In middle school, there are a lot of new things to get used to, more things to manage and prioritize. Fortunately, I can always depend on my community to help me where I need them the most. I'm going to bring up Callie. Come on up to the stage. This is Callie Pascal. I met Callie and Kingsley. They're twins. Kingsley's over there on the camera. He's an amazing writer and director. Give it up for Kingsley. Coming up to the stage and set up. Levi, could I get some assistance? Callie's going to be playing some songs for you guys. Play 2 songs. I thought of one, but... Give it up for Callie Pascal.
guys are going to play songs soon. Give it up for Nathan in the show so far. This is a song that most of you guys have probably heard when you were a kid, and probably not like this, and I hope you enjoy it. Yeah.
Didn't know he was performing today until he came. Sean couldn't make it. I said, do you want to perform a song? So give it up for Callie. And I said you can do 2 songs, and I was like, shoot, time, it's my fault. But Callie, that was a beautiful song, by the way. Who remembers that movie? Yeah. So I want to hear, what is fun to you? I've known you for a long time, so I'm interested in your answer.
Fun to me is just hanging out with friends, and really when time passes and you don't want it to, you just want to stay in the moment. That's what fun is to me.
Being in the moment.
Being in the moment.
Yeah. Well, give it up for Cal. That's actually what Nehemiah said when we talked about what is fun, being lost in the moment. Try and finish this story for you guys. So I never did attend the Center for Talented Youth as an 8-year-old super genius. Thank God I didn't, because I would have become an arrogant prick. As a kid, I had a little bit of a superiority complex. If you don't know what that is, then you're stupid. So I was substituting at my old elementary school, and I ran into my first grade teacher, Mrs. Klusak. And I got home that day, and I asked my mom, did I ever get into the Center for Talented Youth program? And she said, yeah, we just couldn't afford to send you. Turns out it cost $6,000 to spend 3 weeks at the Center for Talented Youth and take collegiate level courses at Johns Hopkins University in Baltimore, Maryland. So I applied to work there this summer as a resident assistant so I could learn what it means to be an advanced learner, as it's now called, and teach these nerds how to have fun. So my job was to plan fun things for the kids to do when they weren't in class, taking advanced level courses like astrophysics, special relativity, the mathematics and competitive behavior, global politics, philosophy, engineering, you name it. If nerds like it, CTY's got it. Our job as resident assistants was to show these nerds a good time, and we were not being sarcastic. Normally a bully is like, let's show these nerds a good time, and then he shoves you into a locker. But not us. As a resident assistant at the Center for Talented Youth, we planned sports, talent shows, quiz bowls, water days where we doused nerds with water guns and went face first on slip and slides. We made being a genius the funnest thing you ever done did. These kids love me. And they call me the Big Hat RA because I wear a giant hat to protect me from the sun. And I juggle responsibilities, make sure they got up on time, pick them up from class, took them to breakfast, dinner, make sure they got their meds, played basketball with them, played Brawl Stars and Clash Royale on our mobile phones, and boy, was being a nerd a blast. First group of kids I had, shout out to Cyrus, Bram, Ethan, Alex, Jackson, Caleb, Arnaud, Gabriel, Zhang Long, Junpei, Oscar, and Tony. Some of them will be watching this later and they asked for a shout out. Man, was that group nerdy as all heck, and they were awesome. They were taking a class on special relativity, except Ethan, who was taking economics, and they liked physics, tennis, badminton, late night memes, playing inappropriate card games, and eating Takis and Oreos into the night while laughing up a storm. They were pure genius in adolescent form, and those first 2 weeks were some of the funnest I ever done had in a while. I always wondered what my life would have been like, how different it would have been if I had gone to that summer camp as a kid and been around other gifted children. When I told my friend Rich about the camp, he said it sounded like I was a camp counselor at a camp for young mutants trying to become X-Men and women. And that's what it was like. I learned what it was like to not feel so alien because I was special. Here, everyone was advanced and everyone could keep up. So I started to learn what it was like to slow down and just have fun. And at the end of the first session, we had a big talent show. The kids had been asking about what I did outside of the job during the year. I told them I was a substitute teacher and that I had a lot of other talents I was still trying to figure out how to use properly. Just like them, I was a mutant too. And I didn't know how to use my powers for good yet. So I wrote a piece where I told jokes over the piano, paying homage to the set I did as a high schooler, my talent show at Culver City High School, and tried to communicate what I learned and what it meant to be now gifted and talented. I told them the story of how I ended up at the Center for Talented Youth, and at the end I explained. I got a music cue ready, doesn't it? The Wi-Fi here is really bad. There's the others. Alright, whatever, scrap it. But this is true if you don't know. It's interesting. I found out the word talent was a Roman monetary unit representing nearly 20 years worth of wages. And I hope everyone here uses their talent to make 20 years worth of income and then some, but take it from someone who has made very little money in their life despite their numerous talents. Make sure you have fun doing it, because it took me 20 years to figure that out. I got off stage and some of the kids said, "Your jokes were hilarious." Another staff said, "I love your singing voice." Another kid said, "You reminded me of Bo Burnham and I like that guy." One kid, as I was walking back to the dorm, said, "I like your set. It was really funny and not gonna lie, it hit me right here." We get one day off a week, and my day off was Sunday at 5 p.m. till Monday at 5 p.m. So I took my break, and the next day, about 12 p.m., I get a call from one of the RAs saying, "Did you hear? A bunch of us are getting fired." I said, "What? Am I getting fired too?" She laughed and said, "No, but a bunch of us got caught drinking late on Saturday night, and we're getting terminated effective immediately." I said, "How many?" She said, "All 8 of us." So that Monday we had a staff meeting with 8 less RAs present, and we're told that we couldn't tell the kids what happened, and neither could the staff who was terminated communicate with any of the other kids. And so we had to round out the end of the session and enter the next with 8 less staff and the same amount of tiny geniuses. The next session came along and they put me with 14 kids, my co-RA with 18, which meant that when he had his day off, I had to handle 32 kids all on my own. And one of those kids even had, we say, extra special needs. Not only was he a genius, but he was also retarded. Okay, jeez. Can't cancel me on that one. Because genius and retarded literally cancel each other out. So if you do the math, he was normal and I didn't really say anything at all. Okay, I really bailed on that one. I did not commit to that joke. The kid had autism. And more importantly, he couldn't get out of the bed in the morning. He was a sweet kid who was addicted to technology, a flight risk, and couldn't wake up no matter how much he asked you to move him, and I was overwhelmed beyond measure. The second session were a great group of kids. Shout out to Yash, Alex, Max, Arjun, John, Hero, Julian, Trey, Jaden, Levi, Brian, Owen, Ari, Brian, and honorary mention Veer, the brother of one of my kids who would hang out with us. These kids were taking mathematics of competitive behavior, otherwise known as gambling. And they were like slick nerds who were also athletic and talked about getting females. I remember one of them literally said, he's like, "You know, I got someone on the side, you know, she's like my insurance policy." I thought, I don't think this kid knows what insurance is. Because insurance is supposed to be stable. If Allstate finds out you've been cheating on them with farmers, they might burn your house down. Females are not a good insurance policy. That's reserved for marriage. Between sessions, I took a trip with one of the RAs to New York City, which I hadn't been to since I did an internship there when I was 21 and made it to the semifinals of the NBC Stand Up for Diversity Showcase. One of the reasons I wanted to go to the East Coast was so that I could also visit friends and family in DC, Boston, go back to New York and see my niece and cousins out in Philly. I planned it so I turned 29 in New York City. I was the oldest RA. Most of them were college age and couldn't believe I was turning 29. One of the kids said, "You're the same age my dad was when he had me." I started to feel old. Tyler, a teaching assistant with a southern drawl from Alabama, asked me, "Why you ain't married yet? Is it because you too goofy?" I said, "No, it's because I've been sinning too much." A few months back, my relationship of 3 years ended, and I've been mourning the loss of my best friend who really knew a lot about having fun. She did things like scuba diving and skiing and underwater photography and traveling the world in capoeira. Her capoeira nickname in Portuguese was sorriso, meaning smile. I was attracted to her because everything she did was so fun, and everything I had done in the past was so nerdy. I thought if I could just be around her, maybe I could, as Sheryl Crow once said, soak up the fun. She could never say yes or no to anything. She was non-committal. She could only say potentially, maybe, or probably. For her, potentially meant 25% likely, maybe was about 50%, and potentially was about 75%, give or take, depending on the mathematics of her competitive behavior, otherwise known as gambling. But all relationships are a gamble. Whenever I go to weddings and I hear the bride and the groom talk about each other, they always say the same thing. So-and-so is the most selfless, giving, beautiful person I know. And I always think to myself, that can't be true about everybody. Somebody's gotta suck. Not everyone is smart and hot and matters. But I think it's always true. Because giving yourself fully to anyone makes you into the most of what you can be. On your own, it might be 25% likely that you can reach your potential, but if you maybe go all in, you're probably going to suck a little bit less. At the end of the session, I would take the kids out to a fancy dinner, and I'd pay for some of the appetizers, and as I found myself finally at the end of an arduous, difficult session, I sat with them letting time pass by, realizing that I had spent the last 2 hours laughing and joking with a bunch of teenagers who were not my own. I liked these kids, but I didn't love them. But I knew one day I'll have my own, and I'll love them more deeply than I can ever know. I think your dog is never as happy as you are with your dog. I think your lover is never as loved as you are with your lover. Your child is never as innocent as you are with your child. Fun is only experienced in a relationship. I think the Christian life is about learning to love despite the limitations of being painfully human. And nothing epitomizes that more than Jesus on the cross saying, "Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do." I should have known this summer was going to be a spiritual test because I flew in on Spirit Airlines. Nothing will test your spirit more than Spirit Airlines. No Wi-Fi, no snacks, and absolutely no leg room. Now, Jesus on the cross, he 100% had no leg room because his feet were nailed down in place, and yet he still loved and forgave. Now, I have a long way to go. There are moments on that plane I was wishing it went down with everybody on it just so I wouldn't have to bear one more moment of bearing my cross on Spirit Airlines. I left Baltimore to go to D.C., and in D.C., I went to the Holocaust Museum, and I thought maybe my experience at camp wasn't so bad. And as I took a train from D.C. to Boston to visit two of my spiritual mentors, Jonathan M. and George Fountain III, I came in on a train and realized I had boarded the wrong one. So instead of being angry, I took it in stride and paid the extra fee to upgrade from business class back down to coach. And as I was on the new and correct train, the train screeched to a halt to rescue the passengers of another train that had broken down. And the train that had broken down was the original Acela business class train I had previously purchased tickets for, that now had to evacuate all their passengers onto our regular, slow Amtrak train. While on the train, I took the extra time to work on what is now going to become PPDK Productions that we'll talk about later. While I was sitting there, I got to speak with a man named Patrick. And in the middle of the conversation, he said, "You're not like other Christians. You're so open and kind." Another lady came by and sat next to us and notified me that I could get a refund for the train I was originally on and get a travel voucher for the current train we were on, which was experiencing delays. Sometimes you can get to your destination faster, but it's going to cost a lot more. Or maybe you can get there slowly, potentially have a little fun connecting with somebody, maybe get your money back in the end, and probably learn to suck a little bit less. In 4th grade, I wouldn't pay attention. I would read Hardy Boys all day. One day, my teacher, Mrs. Ames, called it out. She said, "You're not paying any attention." So I went up to the board and answered every single question perfectly. She realized I was gifted and told me to apply for the Center for Talented Youth at Johns Hopkins. I got in, but I couldn't go because it cost too much. I probably could have skipped grades, but my mom didn't want it to affect me socially. Now I make very little money, and I'm one of the most outgoing people any of my friends know. I'm not trying to brag by saying this, I'm just trying to say how little it all mattered. I'm up here trying to tell jokes again. There's nothing more humbling than this. I should probably be designing spaceships or algorithms to predict where the stock market will be in 10 years. I shouldn't be a substitute teacher, and I shouldn't be a comedian, but I am. Because my biggest talent is teaching people who know too much how to slow down and have a little fun. Exit portfolio number 3. This high school graduation, I have been chosen to receive the Perseverance Award. This award was given to me for not giving up in all the challenges I have gone through over the past years. My parents are so proud of me for winning this award, and I am just as happy with myself as they are. Everybody clapped for me when I went up to receive the award on stage. It was a new experience being in front of so many people. I wanted to thank my family, and I wanted to share with everyone the whole story of my success. When I walked up, I had a chance to share my memories of persevering in all my years of school. In elementary school, I learned from my teachers how to not give up. I first learned what perseverance meant when I was in kindergarten. I read a story entitled Perseverance, which is about a boy who never gave up. My teacher explained the story's moral lesson was to never give up and to not be a quitter. I soon learned that she was right when I joined organized sports at the age of 5. It's very possible to lose games. If I just gave up whenever I lost a game, there would be no hope for winning. When I first joined a basketball team, I was prepared and ready to play. I knew I would make mistakes, but I would also learn from them. There are times I shot the ball in the wrong basket, and worse, maybe even scored for the opponent team. My team still cheered me on and it made me happy. I didn't give up even if we were losing by 50 points, but I continued to try my best. Also, when I started to play soccer, I tripped and fell and it hurt a lot. There were times when I couldn't get up and let my team down. However, most of the times I got back up and stole the ball. I experienced playing different positions in the field through rotations, and wherever I was placed, I never gave up. I've been playing baseball for the Culver City National Little League for the 3rd year. This year I'm a pitcher for my team, and it's very hard work. There's a lot of pressure for me to pitch well so I can strike out the opponent team. At one of our last 2 games, we were losing 7-3, but we came back and scored more. Even though we lost in the end with a score of 10-8, we didn't lose hope and worked hard through the entire game. We did win a couple of days after that with a very tight score of 7-6. There are many goals I set to get through high school. I tried my best to persevere in everything and every situation. I promised to never give up, and it was very hard. Many people supported me, but it was mainly my family and friends. My mom and dad encouraged me to do my very best at everything, and they said I'll do well at anything if I tried. My friends also encouraged me to just do it and to keep trying. Their words of wisdom helped me in school and sports and gave me knowledge on how to persevere. There are 3 steps I took in order to get this award. First, I set goals and envisioned myself persevering. I set goals to do all my work even when I didn't understand the work expected of me. Next, I asked for help on how to persevere and learn more about anything I didn't comprehend. I read books like the one I read in kindergarten, and I also asked for help from my parents. Lastly, I tried to persevere in school and sports and in everything that I do. All these 3 steps help me persevere in everything. I still practice these steps, and I'm happy that I learned what kind of a person perseveres in all that he does. I'm so happy that now I'm on stage and I have this perseverance medal in hand. All my work throughout high school and every year of school paid off. I truly learned what it means to persevere, how to persevere, and why it is good to persevere. That's too many times I said persevere. Every day in my life I'll make mistakes and sometimes fail. However, if I rebound back from those mistakes and try again, I know I can do anything. Nothing will be impossible. I'll live by the motto, when the going gets tough, the tough gets going. I want to be remembered as a tough person, someone who won't quit, but perseveres under any circumstance. Levi and Nemo come up to the stage. Now, Nemo, we were gonna play a song together, me, you, and Levi. But I'm moved by what I just read about perseverance. Are you okay with just doing your set now? All right. This man has really pushed me recently, and I'm really encouraged and inspired by him. And for that reason, I want to present him to you guys. Give it up for my friend and newly minted business partner, Nehemiah Williams, who's going to present to you, with the help of his friends and community, some original songs. The ways in which he's persevered.
They're different strings that I've ever used, and they take forever to tune. I should only have to switch this a little bit, and then it would like shift, but it's not doing that. Come on, we're almost there. Bear with me. Forgive me for that long wait. Definitely should have done that before. So, what is fun? That's the question of the night. You know what's fun for me? Drawing. It turns out my parents are actually wonderful drawers, both of them. And when I was going through dark times, thinking that I didn't have anything good about me in my life, I started drawing just to do something, right? And what I learned with drawing is that in order to give depth to a picture, you don't have to focus on the lines that you're using, you have to focus on the shading. It's the dark parts of the picture that draw your eye to the depth. And so what I want to do first, in order to explore this concept of fun, is I want to talk about something that was not fun. So this song that I'm about to sing was about a time in my life when I was basically talking to somebody. I was talking to a lady, and I asked my Father in heaven, God, should I pursue this lady? And I got a very clear message for once. No, don't do it. And I was like, oh, shoot. Hey, that was quick. All right, cool. I guess into that, right? Well, a while later, that same lady came to me and was like, hey, boy, I'm feeling you. Come on, let's do this. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, ooh, God, I think I want to take a stab at this. Come on, let's negotiate. I really want to fight for this. And so this song is about how that went. Yeah. So, in my life, when I was younger, my father, he taught me that there's a very, very high value in memorizing the scripture from the Bible. And because I respected my father, I gave it a shot. The first scripture I chose to try and remember is as such. There it is. Dear brothers and sisters, when troubles of many kinds come your way, consider it an opportunity for great joy. For when you know that your faith is being tested, your endurance has a chance to grow. So let it grow. For when your endurance is fully developed, you will be strong in character, perfect and complete, needing nothing and ready for anything. This next song right here, I actually did not know this when I wrote this song, but this next song right here is actually the lived experience that came from having this scripture in my heart for basically my whole life. I probably learned the scripture when I was like 8 years old or something, and I'll never forget it. I always remembered it. That's funny because I just read it off of my phone and I remember that scripture. I'll never forget it. It's the first one. Dear brothers and sisters, whenever trouble comes your way, let it be an opportunity for great joy. For when your faith is tested, your endurance has a chance to grow. So let it grow, darling. Because when your endurance is fully developed, you will be strong in character and ready for anything. I believe that fun is a nutrient of the fruit of joy. If you guys know something about the fruits of the Spirit, maybe some of you know, maybe some of you don't. But in the scripture, there's a lot of fruits, and each of these fruits represents a characteristic, a character quality, if you will. And joy is one of them. I believe that fun is one of the seeds of the fruit of joy. But you can't get there until you go through a process where when you know your faith is tested, you still submit to this concept of joy, meaning that no matter what the situation is, I'm going to decide to be joyous, to be gleeful, to be happy, to think on things that are great, worthy of praise, that are good. It's a decision. amongst yourselves, as my baby loves to say. This is my brother. His name is Levi Williams. He absolutely hated. While I was teaching him these songs, he learned how nitpicky I am. He knew it already, but I'm sorry, bro, that you had to go through that, honestly. But we got through it, and these songs are dope now, so I'm super pumped. Let me see. This is my bro Josh Dodmill over here, and he knew me back in the day when I was kind of trash, but I was just like starting to like really get into the technique. He's so kind. Yeah, I was getting into the technique of playing like the bass like a guitar, and it was in the beginning, but like I didn't have it. And now, what do you think now? If you haven't met him yet, he's gonna be a part of our lives. Is that strength enough? Is that cool? How does it sound back there? Jeannie, does it sound good?
Great.
Maybe play it right. Yeah, y'all got that? Thank you, Trayvon. Awesome. Play the chords right. Jeannie is the funniest, most critical, but softly and lovingly, like, I love her. Anyway, a lot of y'all are my family. You know what I'm saying? I just want y'all to know that. Everybody in here is like Rachel and Nana. I saw when you came in. You don't think you can sneak? Kim, I told him at the last minute, he came through. I love y'all. Jose, bro, I haven't even seen Jose in a long time, like months and months, but look at him, bro. I'm gonna give you something after this. Don't you worry. I'm happy everybody is here. I'm so pumped on y'all. Anyway, let me just take a moment. Get back to where I'm supposed to say. So, you know what's fun for me? Writing songs is fun for me. But I especially like writing songs with family and friends. That's you guys. Y'all, anybody want to write a song, come to me. Now you know. I got it like that. You too, Jim and Pam Snodgrass up there. Childhood, they lived in Culver City. I would run 3 blocks up the way and turn left, go to their house. I honestly, I went to you guys' house one time when you weren't there and I stole your skates, your roller skates. I stole them because I wanted them. I'm so sorry. Dude, I hadn't even realized that was very, very wrong. You know what? I assumed you guys never used them. That's what it was. They were just like that in that chest on the porch of your house. Why do you leave things on the porch? That's crazy. Yeah, Jim is a wonderful percussionist. He had the dopest setup in his garage. You still got that? Ding, bro, come on, talk to me. You know what I'm saying? Now you know. All right, you got my number, Mom. Give me one. mom is here. She just got ordained to be an elder at our church. It's really beautiful because my mom, she's a saintly woman, but she doesn't get a lot of like accolades for her saintliness, but not today. Everybody's mom can't be a saint. Some of them have to suck. Okay, so what's fun? Songwriting. Jeez, I'm off books. Fun? Songwriting is fun. And I'll tell you why. Because when you're writing a song, like people think it's like, oh, let's just put these words together, let's put this music together, and then we'll have a C, lower floor, minor. That's my girl calls music. Lower floor, minor, everything. Anyway, I'm gonna teach her music theory. What happens when you're writing a song is that you are taking something that exists inside of you. It could be an emotion, it could be an idea, it could be a literal, visceral feeling that you're just attempting to put words to. But you're encapsulating it in music. And when you do that, you take that feeling, and now that feeling does not have to be housed within your body because it's housed within a song. If you would like to revisit that feeling, you can just play or listen to the song. And when you're a real songwriter, that is a profound thing that happens so often, and it is so great. You know, one time I came back from work and I was just really, I was like, my soul was upside down over the fact that nobody was in the house. I was just after work, nobody's at home. I hate being alone at the house. I'm an extrovert. Somebody, please. You know, nobody was there. And I just started playing and writing. And then after I ended up writing a verse or a chorus, one of the two, and I was no longer lonely. I was pumped on the fact that now I just took that feeling and put it in the song. But this next song I wrote with my brother-in-law. Shout out to the big homie. He's a great writer. He doesn't write songs, he writes books. And I decided to sit down with him just for fun and write a song. And I wrote this song. He had an idea, a musical idea. He showed it to me. And I said, well, what comes to your mind when you hear this? He was like, So he's a very flirtatious person. He said that's what he struggled with the most is flirting, right? And so he goes, never been here before, what do you recommend? And what he was talking about was a waitress or a hostess or somebody you would meet at a restaurant. I was like, oh yeah, that's dope, I like that. So we ended up developing the song, and the song was written eventually. But now I look back on that song and all my contributions to it, and I look at my beautiful girlfriend, and I see her, and I'm like, you know what's crazy? When I put the song and my girlfriend next to each other, she is the embodiment of the character who I'm serenading in that song. I had no idea, but I ended up putting everything that I was interested in somebody who I would like to pursue in a song. Let me tell you about it right here. ready for my bill. The careless of the expense. And I only care about when I see you again. I'm grateful for my meal and for this experience. Much more valuable than all my dollars and cents. I don't know what we will become, but that's no good reason to let this moment pass. And I'm so nervous, but I just like to ask one last question before I take my leave. Can I get your love? Yeah, I guess that's it.
Give it up for Levi.
So when she goes up there, that's the name.
We have a quick few
We're gonna
announcements
do
right
the
before
nails
you
down,
go.
nails down.
One of the first big announcements is that me and Nehemiah, we started a media company called PPDK Productions. Press play.
I guess it'll be
On your
swing.
purpose.
Here at PPDK Productions, we set the stage for the truest stories never told. This is our low pitch.
That's about what
We uplift accidentally entertaining testimony to tell the stories and truth, pointing to the fact that life itself is so much more bigger than just you.
We're here to serve those who wish to live to tell a tale and who need to tell a tale to truly live. If you want to support us, follow us on social media. We have our stuff over there, and we're selling hats for $25 a piece. And if you want to give us $100, I'll personally marry you. The hats are from a previous project I did, so it's not the logo. We have a new logo actually designed by Caleb. We'll pray for Caleb. But if you buy the hats, all that we ask is that if people ask you where you got it from, start a conversation about tonight, because a fruitful conversation is priceless. And we also have a special guest we want to
Yeah,
bring up.
come on, y'all. I need everybody to give it up for the loveliest, greatest, the sweetest. Ooh, who is she? She's Brittany Patrice Wilson. I almost said her name right there. I almost said her name, which is the incorrect middle name of my beloved. I should know that.
Hi guys, happy birthday! And Merry Christmas and Feliz Navidad.
All right,
Good
darling.
luck for these guys.
So, darling, there's a clear question for you that I have to you. That question is, what is fun?
Oh, hi, fun. So when I knew that this was the question that, answer that I needed to, I don't know how to talk, you guys know what I'm trying to say. Can I do something wrong? When I knew that I had to answer that question, I was like, I really want to do an acronym because I didn't want to just give an answer because everyone else gave an answer. And they were beautiful answers that y'all gave, but I made an acronym. Behold, are you ready? Please hold and talk amongst yourself. So, see, I told you, it's real. He uses it, I use it. So to me, fun, my fun acronym is frequently uniting nonstop. So as you all know, I love a good party. I love bringing people together, and I love cooking and hosting. A lot of people that are here, my family, the first two rows, amen family, we have had a lot of family parties, and something that I always remember is my home being filled with all of these people and much more. And so I was like, community and bringing people together. So did I say it already? I did, or did I not? Fun for me stands for frequently uniting nonstop. So nonstop community, nonstop people coming through. One thing when I first met him, I was like, I just really want people to just come through our home all the time. He goes, hold on, what was it that you said? You said within reason. He said within reason, and I was like, okay, I guess so. But I just want to bring people together at all time, and I want to feed people. I love cooking. My mother, that's her in the shepherd jacket. Hi, Mom. She has cooked a lot of foods, a lot of meals. I never went to bed hungry. Amen. But that sounds so much better. What was I saying? Food and cooking and all of the things. And I think that it should be community and feeding people and coming together. And that's mainly what I meant when I said I want people to come over so I can cook and feed them all the time. But within reason now. He said don't come to our house and show up. But he didn't say that.
FYI, I'm an extrovert too. So.
He's an extrovert too, so he said not
She's
come over.
exaggerating.
But hi. Oh, does you guys know he's my boyfriend? He's my boyfriend. Okay, just so y'all know.
So tell me something. So how exactly what kind of things are you doing to express this love that you have for feeding people and for, you finish the sentence.
Good question. So one thing, my most recent passion project, but it's not just a project, it's something that I've been wanting to do for a long time. I've always wanted to be forward-facing. I've always wanted people to just, I guess, look at me but see me in a positive manner. And I've always had friends that have done that. I've always had family that love me. But I was just like, I can do this for real life and for money. And so I'm just like, how do I do that? I'm like, well, I love fashion, I love dressing up, I love talking, weirdly. I'm just like, how can I do it? I don't know. And so there's these things called podcasts, which these two wonderful gentlemen have. And that's what I want to do too. And I want to talk to people about food and feeding people and bringing people together. And there's a lot of people that are represented here, a lot of different communities and cultures. And I want to bring people together at the dinner table with this man next to me. Hi, babe. Thank you. And so one thing that we just did not too long ago was we did a recording for our podcast, and it's called BRIM, BRIIM, and it's an acronym, so it stands for Becoming Really Intentional in Honor of the Mission. The mission is what fun means to me, frequently uniting nonstop, coming together with everyone, and I cook food. And he's a great sous chef, and he actually cooks really good soups too, and he's wonderful. But what I'm trying to say is that the podcast will be around the dinner table, so it's not just we're talking, no offense to the talking, the stories great. But I really want to cook and feed people and have just conversation about food and bring people together. And so that's what BRIM stands for. And we'll be doing that together very soon, more often. And it'll be various couples that we'll talk to about life and fun.
That's interesting that you said you cook for money. Okay, so what kind of, and how exactly are you doing that? And are you doing any initiatives in order to specifically pursue something in that regard?
Yes. Okay, I'm going to answer your question, I promise, but I have to do a history lesson. So I'm a teacher by trade, if you don't know. So I've traveled all around the world and I was teaching, and I have had wonderful opportunities. And in that method of me teaching, I brought people together in my home, cooking for them all the time. We had Sunday dinners, and it was amazing. And I was like, I don't love the classroom so much. And I didn't feel guilty about saying that, but it was something that I looked forward to more so than teaching the kids. And so I got together and I lived in Shanghai for 3.5 years, and I did a lot of hosting, a lot of partying, not partying, but maybe kind of, but it was, food was involved in dinner and fun stuff. And so I was like, let me just do this. And And so I left the classroom and I went to culinary school. And I started culinary school in February 2020. And as you know, a month later, the world shut down. So I kind of taught myself, and it was very different than what I thought it would be, but it was still magical. And I still received a lot of valuable lessons. And I learned very early on that I wasn't meant to be in the kitchen, like in the back. There's people that are meant to cut carrots and not talk to people, but obviously I like talking to people. And so I was like, Bob, why are you here? Like, why did you really want to come here, Bob? Like, what's your story? Bob, talk to me. And so, but a lot of culinary school was cutting carrots, and I was like, but what are the people doing? Like, why do they order this dish with all these carrots? And so I was like, I need to be more forward-facing. And so, the career has pivoted. I'm not necessarily working in the kitchen now, but through a lot of prayer and through this man, but also this man, through a lot of just like prayer and guidance, I'm like, you know what, like I'm meant to like feed people. So God's really given me just like the vision to do more personal chefing, and so using like people's homes as a kitchen, so I don't have to rent a commercial kitchen. I go to people's homes, feed them, hear their stories because that's what I want to hear, and also feed them. So starting like personal chefing endeavor in the new year, there's this personal chef academy. It's like kind of an extension of culinary school, but it's a lot more expensive than culinary school, but provision and prayer, and we're going to be doing a fundraiser for that pretty soon for this academy that starts in January, and it's a personal chef, just academy and how to just build your business and all of these things, and I believe that's the life that God has for us, and we're going to continue to do community with each other, and I'm just thrilled, and that's what I'm going to do, is just feed people, and I won't stop. And that's what fun means to me, so in order for me to have fun, I obviously have to do what I love, so.
So, you I have chosen. What do you have here today in order to give evidence to the people? They hear everything you're saying,
Yes.
but what do we have to show?
I made something for you all. I don't know if you all know the package. It is 902. But I did make some. Okay, so I told you how I lived in Shanghai, right, for 3.5 years. It was wonderful. And so Asian food is my jam. Asian food is what I always want to eat. What we always often eat when we have a chance, and that definitely is definitely something that I will always include in my meals is Asian food, specifically Southeast Asia, which is where Shanghai is, but also a lot of my family here is from Louisiana Creole, and so that is something that I grew up on as well, and that's what my mom cooks a lot. Just what I grew up on, and I wanted to like an ode to that as well. Shanghai was the biggest part of my life, probably. I mean, I've traveled to several countries, and that's a whole other story. And I'm just thankful for my parents for me to be able to have done that. But Shanghai was very pivotal, and so Southeast Asian diaspora. I'm supposed to answer what I made. Okay, listen. So it's an Asian twist, okay? So I made pumpkin mochi sesame bars. So it's like a little fall business, and there's some sesame seeds in there. It's a little soft in the middle, but it's really, really yummy, and I hope you all enjoy. It's something, just a little party gift for you all. So yeah, enjoy. What would you like me to do?
I would like you to ask me one last time, what is fun?
Babe, what is fun?
You know what was fun? This show was fun. I hope you guys think the same. That being said, we do have one last surprise. Are you guys ready for this surprise? Yeah! I'm sorry, I didn't wait, did I say, are you ready for the surprise? Excellent, because this particular surprise is for none of you. This particular surprise is for you, darling. this day this long. How you doing? What am I doing down here? That's a good idea. So, darling, do you know what's fun? Our relationship was very, very fun. And through our relationship, I was able to discover a deeper meaning of fun, actually. And for me, fun means a deep, deep knowing that something is just right. For example, when you're in the kitchen and you're baking and you have to you gotta mix it up, and you gotta beat the dough, and you gotta roll it, and everything has to be just right measured, and then you put the thing in the mix it, and you put it in the plate just right, and it has to look good because presentation, and you put it in the oven, and it smells, that smells just right, ooh-wee. And then you take it out the oven, you see it's that looks just right, and then you finally get to taste the fruit of what you just very, very challengingly committed to. And you're like, wow, that tastes so good, this must be just right. Babe, you and me, we are just right. I know it deeply, and I know you know it deeply as well. But most importantly, I know that God knows it. And so, darling, I really, really want to stand next to you for my entire life. And so, I'm so sure of this, but I just have to ask one last question before we take our leave. Will you marry me? Will you marry me? Wait. You gotta see this thing. You gotta see this thing. It's crazy. I had it designed. Okay. Anybody got a tissue? My baby's crying. See that? Yeah. No, I got this custom made. Yeah. No, you can look at it for a long time later. But I think I'm supposed to put this on you right now. I'm gonna do it. No, you don't hold it.
Excuse me.
It always happens. Always.
Oh, make it brief. I have to make it brief. Thank you, family and friends. And I was so emotional. I was like, my whole family is here. And this is something that we've been waiting for a very long time. Just for the uniting of our families. And everyone's here. And like, oh my gosh, they did our marriage counseling. My parents gave birth to me. His mom was over there. And
There's cross culture in the house, y'all.
cross cultures in the house. Oh my gosh. I gave this man a whole list and all the people were here. I put numbers, y'all. It was a whole Excel sheet. And
Brittany, I want you to do one last thing. I want you to turn to Nemo. I want you to look at him and repeat after me. Nehemiah Williams. You're smart. You're hot. You matter. And I'm your new wife. Give it up! That's been our show. Thank you guys so much. I've been honored to be a part of this. Thank you guys so much for making this moment. Thank you.
Press play on your purpose.